Hachette Audio presents Soar, Build Your Vision from the Ground Up. Written by T.D. Jakes. Read by Ezra Knight. Please enjoy the PDF that accompanies this audiobook. To the more than 10,000 former inmates who have successfully graduated from our Texas Offenders Reentry Initiative, your strength, determination, faith, and dedication exemplify what it means to build a new life and mount up on wings like eagles. May you continue to soar even as you inspire others to follow you across the sky. Introduction. Cleared for takeoff. If we worked on the assumption that what is accepted as true really is true, then there would be little hope for advance. Orville Wright. You never forget the first time you fly. Racing down the runway in a huge metal cylinder with wings, you gasp as the plane surges and lifts, and you realize that the 2-ton machine you're in no longer touches the ground. Through the porthole window, you watch as the terminal, parking lot, trees, lawns, houses, parks, businesses, cars, and highways recede until they become as small as children's toys, littering a quilt of gray, brown, and green. Then you can no longer see what is beneath you as the plane climbs higher and higher into an expanse of blue embroidered with white. You smile to yourself as golden strands of sunlight filter through the clouds like giant hands fingering the endless silk of the sky. Your mind marvels at the fact you are thousands of feet in the air, even as your stomach lurches to remind you it prefers the solid ground below. The only sounds are the drowsy hum of the plane's engines and your own heartbeat, drumming a rhythm of equal parts terror and exhilaration. You wonder if this is how a bird feels as it soars high above the earth, never looking back at the branch from which it departed, only ahead toward the distant horizon. You know you will never forget this experience and all its sensations of delight and wonder, anxiety and fear. Perhaps your first flight was not as magical as my own, but I bet it was just as memorable. I was young, probably around 11 or 12 years old, and flew by myself from Charleston, West Virginia, to Cleveland, Ohio, where my father was receiving medical treatment for the kidney disease that would eventually claim his life. My mother was already there and would be the one to pick me up on arrival. Even my concern for my father's health could not dampen the thrill I experienced flying that first time as a child passenger. That excitement had been ignited in me years earlier when my father would drive our family up the hill toward the airport for one of life's simple and absolutely free pleasures, watching the planes come and go. Summer days especially, we would drive up and park where we had an optimal view of the Cessna jets with their wealthy business travelers, as well as the commercial 747s shuttling assorted passengers through the friendly skies. The red-orange sun would be descending in the afternoon sky, heavy from the weight of its own sweltering heat, and we'd have all the windows rolled down to catch a breeze as my siblings and I laughed and pointed out specific clouds to each other. A camel, a roller coaster, the face of one of our aunties, while waiting for the next plane to land or take off. We couldn't afford the trips to the Florida beaches or vacations to the Grand Canyon that my classmates would boast about the rest of the summer. But we had the next best thing, stimulating our imaginations more than any visit to Disneyland, driving up that hill by the airport before or sometimes after dinner from time to time. As we sat in the car or ventured out on the lot to get a closer look, we would imagine we were on those planes, going God knows where to see God knows what.